Hi everyone, so I know some of you are after a bit of a review on the car and I finally got a bit of spare time, so just thought I'd quickly run you through all the things that we've done and kind of how I got the car originally. So one of the cool things about this car is it's got real awesome custom interior that's been done, so full bucket seats, and then in the middle here we've got the manual gearbox, so it's just a Lancer Sedia centre console, and then just cut up the factory centre console so there's not a big old hole. Filled the gear stick hole down there with a gauge. Coming up, just aftermarket head unit, the usual, and then I fitted a Subaru STI gauge pod in the middle there, and there's also another gauge over there. So gauges wise, we've got intercooler temperatures, so inlet and outlet, which is pretty cool. Oil temp, oil pressure, and exhaust gas temperature. And then over there we've got air fuel ratio and boost, but I'm also adding in water methanol gauge, which will an Acamus one, which will be just off the pillar there, as I don't really have any room for anyone anywhere else. But interior wise, it's bloody awesome. I'm pretty stoked with the previous owner. It's got aftermarket speakers and amps and all that kind of stuff as well, so it goes pretty good for the sounds. The back is pretty much the same. We've got a sub built into the floor here, just a 10-inch Infinity sub and box, and then boxes down there. Got rid of the spare, and that's going to have a water methanol injection tank and pump in there as well, but it integrates really nicely. Cool, so the interior continues in the back. It's really quite nice. Up on the driver's side, I've just got the Evo steering wheel, and then one of the cool conversions for the manual conversion to finish it off was to fit a European Speedo 240k. I have got the wiring diagram for that, if anybody was wanting to grab one. Obviously the trick is getting one with very similar Ks. Also fitted a auto dimmable mirror, because I flippin' hate ones that don't do that, and it's also got an aftermarket sunroof which someone fitted previously, and a black headlining, and even the sunshades are embroidered and stitched, and it's the gauge just there, so it's all AM gauges. Externally we've got the Evo 9 wheels and Brembos, and to complement that I've actually got them fitted the entire Evo front suspension setup, including the subframe, lower control arms, put all the white line stuff in there, but still using the airtrek sway bar because it is actually bigger than the Evo one. Let's give you a quick underside shot, hopefully you can see, probably not. So that's all the arms and stuff that have been overhauled. Under the car's all looking pretty schmick. Exhaust paint's just peeling off like the usual. Down the back, still got the factory brakes, which some of you know I am going to be upgrading them soon, so I'm not too worried about them. The pads are pretty rubbish. I'm only doing about half the disc. There's still plenty of meat on them though. The wheels have been Cerakoted. From the back, still got the tow bar. Got Remus exhaust tips, not genuine Remus, but it's a Magnaflow muffler under here, and one of the tips is actually closed until it's on boost, and then the other tip, the left hand tip runs all the time, and then the right hand tip opens up when you come just into boost, and that's just to eliminate drone, because it is a little bit droney. Engine wise, it's obviously a bit different to most people. We'll just start at the start. So got a bit of a cold air box. I plan to put a scoop similar to the Evo 4s, I think, with a little vent just there to feed in, and then like wrinkle coat this to match the rest. 3-inch Mamba intake pipe with a TD06 HR 76mm turbo kind of tucked down there with the water methanol screwed on it. Run an FP exhaust manifold under there, and then 3-inch turbo back that I've made. Cerakoted the rocker cover down the back here. Got the Evo intake manifold, which has got an AEM fuel rail here. The fuel pressure reg just sits down off there, which just clears the brakes, and then ID 1000 injectors and a DW 300 in-tank pump, so that's pretty nice. We've got the water tier intercooler set up here, so it runs a Ford Fiesta radiator just in front of the aircon condenser. There's a 10 litre water tank down in the front bumper, and then that pumps the water up to the intercooler. Definitely improves throttle responses. I've only got 600ml of piping total, so builds boost real fast, which is really nice. On top of that, the bottom end of the motor is built, so it's got Manly rods, Manly pistons, ported the head while I was at it, and it's got Calford 272 cams. It's got all that genuine water pump and tensioner. I find they're the only ones that don't fail. We've got a fluid damper for the crank pulley with an adapter to space it out because it's slightly different. And then we're running the Powerflex 70 durometer side bearings, and we're running hard race front and rear with the Kegley, Ingles Stiffy damper, that's what it is. It's got an ultra racing front sway brace as well. We've got a Motobat 20 amp hour motorbike battery, seems to go pretty good. Keep it on charge sometimes if I don't use the car. I put the oil catch can down here, so takes the factory breathers, which were taken out to AN10, and then feed them into the can, and then AN12 return into the intake. But yeah, other than that, it's all try and keep it reasonably stealth. It's pretty loud when you're on it, but yeah, I do plan to. It's got an NA bonnet to stop water getting down the coil packs, as it's got coil and plug. But I plan on putting a vent in the front and the inlet for the air just there as well, and then get the car repainted. That's probably one of the last things to do. But future plans is get those red Brembos converted on. I'm going to build the transfer case because everything has been done underneath. It all looks pretty good. Looks pretty fresh at the moment, so pretty happy with that. But get the exhaust redone because it was a lockdown special with what I had, from the front of the mid pipe to the muffler, and yeah, fit LSDs front and rear into the other transfer case I've got tidied up, and finish off the water meth, and I think that'll be it for me. It's a pretty nice car at this stage, and I'm really happy with it after the 8 years of ownership that I've had. So yeah, pretty happy. Anyway, boost on, guys.